Hello everyone, back again with Sobijose. In this video, I will recap one of the thriller films from 2020, titled Bloody Hell. Before we get to the storyline, don't forget to like and subscribe for more film recaps, and have a great day. At the beginning of the film, we are shown an incident that occurred in Finland. A young girl named Aliyah is running from several men in the forest. It turns out that the men who are chasing Aliyah are actually members of her own family. She then plunges into the lake, but the men manage to catch her before she drowns. After that, the scene moves to a bank where a man named Rex is waiting in line for a certain purpose. Not sure why he's there, but it's clear that he's there to see Maddie, his crush. While Rex is talking to her, their place is suddenly attacked by robbers who instead kill a security guard at the bank. As a result, the situation, which was previously calm, has now become tense. But Rex is suddenly sued by the judge for slaughtering all of the robbers at the bank earlier, despite the fact that he saved many lives during that incident and is considered as a hero. We are shown Rex, who has been released from prison, starting at a magazine that has a picture of his own face. For the time being, it appears in the magazine that he is still considered as a hero due to his heroic acts 8 years ago. After Rex gets out of, he is not being shunned by society, but instead he is always noticed by the public and chased by reporters. This of course makes Rex feel uncomfortable, and it is at this prison point that his own conscience, or a different side of himself, shows up in the physical realm. As we can see, his alter ego is more emotional nature than himself. As soon as Rex realizes he can no longer bear their presence, he gets to his feet and throws his desk at the entire group. But in reality, it is all just his imagination acting as a release for his emotion due to his current stress. Although Rex is widely regarded as a hero, but still there are some people who don't like his heroic effort and regard him as a psychopath. Rex then goes to see his friend and says that he is fed up with his life now, which is no longer normal because so many people are drawn to him. As a result, he finally decided to leave the city, where he lives now, and move to Finland. Plus, the reason Rex wants to go to Finland is very rational, because when he was in prison, he shot a spiteball and it landed right in Finland. After that, the scene moves to a forest which shows a man running from the pursuit of several. The people who are chasing the man look like the people at the beginning of the film. This means that this entire incident happened in Finland, which will be Rex's next destination. The man is then forcefully pulled by a strong creature that sounds terrifying. We back to Rex. He is now already at the airport, and as usual, this guy starts to film him. Moreover, Rex also notices that there is a husband and wife who are keeping an eye on him. When things start to get noisy again and people start filming him, he becomes more and more annoyed, and he eventually decides to go to the restroom. However, it appears that the couple's husband has already in the toilet and it is starting at Rex while he is peeing in the bathroom. And when Rex returns to his seat, the strange couple gives him a creepy smile. After Rex arrived in Finland, he is waiting for a taxi, and from a distance there is a taxi driver is watching him. The taxi driver immediately cuts through another taxi line and stops right in front of him. When Rex is in the taxi, the driver then releases the anesthetic gas which causes him to become unconscious and eventually pass out. Rex, who has just realized this, tries to scream, but it is stopped by someone. It turns out that the person is Rex's conscience, who tells him to keep his mouth shut. After that, he represents Rex to realize his emotion by screaming for what has happened to him. In fact, his conscience appears to be smarter and more sadistic than he is, and it plays a significant role in both Rex's life and death. He can also analyze the situation of any incident that occurs to Rex, and the one that is currently taking place. After completing the observation, His conscience concludes that the perpetrators of the incident that happens to him now are the strange husband and wife couple from the airport. When Rex is crying with his condition, his conscience can't stand it and starts thinking of ways to get out of there. However, because of the strength of the tie that binds his hands, his conscience has other plans for ensuring his survival. According to his conscience, if the perpetrator suddenly appears, he must pretend to be unconscious. After noticing a lot of bicycles around him, the alter ego assumes that the perpetrators who kidnapped him are a family. Meanwhile, all of the family members have already gone to sleep on the upstairs. But the youngest child in the family, named Olavi, is not yet asleep and is curious about their victim. This time, Rex, who hasn't had enough time to untie the rope yet, tries to do so with his teeth. The young boy, on the other hand, decides to go down to the basement where Rex has been held. After the young boy enters the room on the ground, Rex immediately pretends to be unconscious. Rex then finds out that the person who came is just the child, so he comes up with a plan, which is to make the child as an insurance policy to get him out of the place. He tries to persuade Olaf before kicking him in the face with his amputated leg and flanking him with his bow stings. Not long after, his sister realized that her little brother is not in bed, so she decided to look for him in the basement. It turns out that this woman's name is Alia, and she's the young girl who has tried to run away from several men before this. This explains that it is her family who are kidnapping Rex at this time. At this point, Rex threatens to break the boy's neck if Alia attempts to kill him. But since Rex is too panicked about his own safety, he accidentally lets go of Olava, which makes him lose his guarantee to get out of there. The mother then slaps Alia because she thought that Alia has hurt her little brother. At this point, we can conclude that Alia has a different nature than her family and that she could be a great opportunity for Rex to get out of there. The opportunity is bolstered when Alia suddenly smiles and imagines herself married to Rex, which means that she is attracted to Rex at first sight. Since her family is in the hospital, Alia immediately goes downstairs to see Rex and begin to treat his leg. Alia then expresses her feeling to Rex. It is at this point that she begins to tell the story of how her family began to kidnap people and make them as food for her eldest brother. Since the birth of her first brother, he has already been suffering from a disorder that causes him to crave and eat the human flesh. This was proven by the fact that he started biting his father when he was a baby. Therefore, since the incident, her family began to kidnap people to satisfy his eldest brother's hunger, although Alia didn't agree with it. When the older brother didn't really like the flesh of the person, they were forced to find another victim as a replacement. Night after night death came to Elia's life, and she had tried many times to run away from her family, but they were always able to track Elia down until they imprisoned her in a wooden cage built by her father. After telling the story, Alia begins to feel sorry for Rex and leaves the knife on the floor. She asks Rex to take the knife himself, but when Rex manages to get it and tries to cut the rope, Alia's three brothers suddenly appear and intend to execute Rex right away. Elia's three brothers suddenly appear and intend to execute Rex right away. Rex then immediately pretends to be unconscious, and his plan is successful because the brothers cancel their intentions. Meanwhile, his personal conscience looks very angry and really wants to end their lives, and we will soon see that this family of cannibals has chosen the wrong guy to be kidnapped. After that, they notice Rex's legs, which has already been bandaged, and they immediately look for Alia in her room, but turn out to be hiding in the basement, and suddenly her brother comes back there and takes her upstairs. After that, Rex is injected with some liquid which causes him to suddenly laugh. We are then transported back to 8 years ago, when Rex fought the robbers at the bank. We finally get to see how brutal Rex was when he slaughtered all of the robbers there. It is seen that his conscience was controlling him at that time, and with such brutality he managed to become a hero to all of the visitors there. Finally, when Rex tried to save his lover, the robber is frightened by the fact that Rex didn't care who's gonna die there. After Mary was released, Rex, influenced by his own ego, then shot the robber, and the robber's weapon accidentally fired into a cupboard. Unfortunate things happened when a bank employee who was hiding inside the cupboard died due to the fired gun. So this is the reason why Rex was sentenced to 8 years in prison for allegedly sacrificing other people's lives to satisfy his desires. Plus, since Rex's sentences is too long, Maddie, who had been saved by him, decided to end the relationship because she didn't want to waste her time waiting for him to be released. We then return to Rex. When he regains consciousness, he notices that his leg is being cut off by the psychopath this moment. He then kicks the psychopath, which causes the psycho rushes off to get an anesthetic. At the same time, Rex tries to cut the rope that binds his hand with the knife from Alia. When the man returns to him, Rex quickly stabs the knife into his ear canal. Without wasting any time, Rex is now looking for some tools and weapons needed to escape from there. Fortunately, he finds some tools that will help him in the next scene. Rex tries his best to get to the top floor, relying on the golf club he has attached to his leg. After he manages to get out of the basement, his conscience tells him to bring Elia out of the house as well. Rex then walks out of the house and he thinks about the words of his conscience again. It looked like they have made a decision about what they will do next after this. They are shocked by the blood stains in front of their house. At this moment, it turns out that their child are still asleep. Their parents gather them and scold them for letting Rex escape, fearing that Rex would come back with the police, then plan to move out of the house. But it looks like their plan will fail. It turns out that Rex has been waiting for them under the table, and he kills them one by one using a nail gun. As Rex tries to shoot the mother, the nail bullets run out, and he kicks the mother in the head with the golf club attached to the amputated leg. When her son sees the incident, he tries to attack Rex, but Rex quickly throws a knife into his body, causing him to die. Elia then kills her own mother, who has just woken up from unconsciousness. Her brother eventually appears, going down the stairs with his big body like a monster. In the end, Rex and the cannibal fight each other, and when Rex manages to cling to the refrigerator's door, he sees that there is a piece of his right leg inside. As a result, he looks happy because it turns out that his right leg still hasn't been eaten by the cannibal. He then takes his right leg and immediately thrusts it into the cannibal's mouth. After it is all over, Rex takes Alia back to America, where they decide to live together there. One night, Rex and Elia are seen hanging out at a place with their friends. One of their friends seems interested in Rex, which makes Elia jealous. At this moment, it turns out that Elia also has the same alter ego as Rex. She imagines about killing the woman who makes her jealous. This shows that the two of them are a perfect match since they have almost similar alter egos. Meanwhile, in another place, the youngest child from Elia's family who hasn't recovered from the injury intends to avenge the death of his family. And with that, the film ends. Okay guys, that's all the recap for Bloody Hell 2020. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video.